Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, and well, I was going to say it's straight killer Sudoku today, but this is by Akash Dulani, and it comes from his new book, World of Sudoku I think it's number 9. Is it number 9? It is number 9, volume number 9. Akash publishes these books on Amazon and on Payhip, and we will give the links under the puzzle rules today. I don't have this current book because it's absolutely brand new. I have an older one, which is Akash Dulani's World of Sudoku Volume 6. But Volume 9, I've been able to have a look at the pages of it, and it's all killer Sudokus. There are 120 of them. They are arranged in difficulty order, and that difficulty is based on the solving times of Akash's test solver, Edouard Lebeau, who is a brilliant world-ranked competitor. I believe, based on the times recorded in the book, that he is a phenomenal solver of killer Sudokus of Akash Dulani's style. The center of the book, puzzles like 20 to 100. Every single one of them has a time on it from Edward between a time that either begins with 5 minutes or with 6 minutes. So he's solved the vast majority of this book in under 7 minutes a puzzle, which for a killer Sudoku that is not a completely filled grid and not obviously easy, that's phenomenal timings. And I know Akash's puzzles, and I'm aware how good Edouard is. I think he's on the net somewhere as Sudo-Canard, in case you've come across that. And I think he's Canadian. No, he's not. He's French. He's French. I apologize. So anyway, that is the provenance of this puzzle. And Akash's books are always, very, very solid standard of puzzles. If you like the physical hard copy book, give that a try. If you like an ebook, what about our Kickstarter? That is going to be playable online Fog-of-War puzzles. We're backing a story written by Peter C. Hayward. We're just getting to the point now where there are going to be extra puzzles in the book by constructors other than Sandra and Nala, who are going to contribute at least 10. And we think combined with the entertainingness of the story, you will really enjoy this. Just $5 to pledge to our Kickstarter. There's still nearly a month to run on that, and depending on how many pledges we get, we'll decide how many puzzles are in the book. So do join us for that. You can also join us on Patreon, where Simon solves Phenomenon. Now, I haven't given the author of Phenomenon in my trails of it in the last couple of days. It's by Darth Paradox, who is, again, another fantastic constructor. Phenomenon took Simon well over 2 hours. I don't want to spoiler it any more than that, but a long time to solve. It's a sort of chaos phenomeno construction of just immensitude, to coin a new word. It's brilliant. There's so much going on. We're live streaming tomorrow. Yes, 10 p.m. our time. Should be 11 p.m. in Central Europe, 5 p.m. in New York, 2 p.m. in LA, I reckon, something like that. Join us at the Chance of Sonar again. We've done no preparing further for it, so we'll almost certainly be stuck on the same problems as before. Looking forward to giving that a go. And anything else going on that you need to know about? There's Sven SUDOKU PAD and the merch, of course, and the merch is going very well for Christmas. Loads of people are getting loved ones some of our merchandise for Christmas, and why not indeed? It's a very good idea when you've run out of other present ideas. Or indeed at the top of the list of present ideas. Maybe that's where it sits. And I want to also thank Rachel and Alexandra, as Simon did yesterday, for their lovely emails, and Rachel for daring to meet Simon in person, which I think, shows a commendable intrepidity. Now, I have chosen puzzle 117 from Akash's book. That is not because the number 117 has a significance in Danish where it is kind of the equivalent of umpteen for a kind of unspecified huge number. Umpteen doesn't really sound like that, does it? It's in the teens. It's not that high. I suppose 117 is in the teens, but for some reason, I'm going to butcher the pronunciation, but 117 is a huge number in Danish. Anyway, it's near the back of the book, which indicates that it's one of the very few puzzles that took Edward over 20 minutes. The puzzles after it, I think, have diagonal cages, which we couldn't even show. So this is about as hard as it gets, according to Edward's times. So good luck with this puzzle if you have a go at it. I am looking forward to giving it a try. It's a killer Sudoku. Normal Sudoku rules apply. We're putting 1 to 9 in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. Digits in a cage cannot repeat, and sum to the given total. So these 4 different digits add up to 26. If you've heard us talking about killer Sudoku or killer cages, this is what it's about. It's one of the most basic variants of Sudoku there is. And that doesn't make it uninteresting. It often makes it very interesting. So Akash's book of 120 of them, very interesting. Anyway, I'm going to start now. Enough waffle. Let's get cracking. So there are some cages. I can see 3 where we know the constituents. Oh no, I can see that one where we know exactly what the constituent is and where it goes. A 1-cell cage is always a bit of a giveaway. Now I can see 4. There's a 10 here. That must be 1, 2, 3, 4. There's an 11 in 4 cells. That has to be 1, 2, 3, 5. 30 is at the opposite end of the spectrum. Has to be 9, 8, 7, 6. And just as 11 is 1 away from 10 and there's still only 1 fill, 29 is 1 away from 30 and there's still only 1 fill, which is 9, 8, 7, 5. So we've got that as a start. Now, these meet a little in this box where 4 doesn't appear in any of the pencil marking for those cells. So 4 is in one of those 2 cells, and in box 3 it's in one of those 2, therefore. If it's here, that's a 9. There are X-wings on at least 2 digits between these sections. And an X-wing is kind of when the 2 digits get used up, in this case in the columns. So let's assume that 9 and 8 were in that group of cells. They are definitely in that group of cells. In column 7, they would have to be in this group. But it could be 9 and 7, or it could be all of 9, 8 and 7, or it could be 8 and 7. No, I don't see how to use that. This 13 cage, okay, first of all, the 6 cages are using the digits 1, 2, 4, and 5. One of them is a 1, 5, one of them is a 2, 4. They see each other. The rest of the digits in the column are 3, 6, 7, and 9. This 13 cage originally had 3 possible pairs, but 8, 5 is gone. So it's either 4, 9 or 6, 7. This 11 cage originally had 4 possible combos. One of them has gone with that 8, and another has gone with that pencil marking, because now 7, 4 is impossible here, because it would make this one totally impossible. So this isn't 8, 3 or 7, 4. It's either 5, 6 or 2, 9. And 6 and 9 are definitely used between those 2 cages, which is interesting but not conclusive. Now, a 12 cage has 2 possible fills, and those are 1, 2, 3, 6 and 1, 2, 4, 5. If it was 1, 2, 4, 5, that would definitely be creating a double X-wing with this cage, whatever is in it. And those 2 cells would then have to go into these 2. And would add up to 6, because it would be those 2 digits. So if that was the case, these would add up to 6, these would add up to 9. Is that any use? No, probably not. Okay, the corollary of 12 having 1 and 2 definitely in it, actually I'm going to pencil mark that while I remember it, is that 28 definitely has 9 and 8. It's either 9874 or 9865. A 26 gauge doesn't have to have 9, because that can be 8765. Ah, look, here's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quint. So everything else in this row is from 6, 7, 8 or 9. No, that's not a 6, 7, 8, 9 quad at all. And 4 could be in this cage. It couldn't be in that cell, which sees all of those. Oh, well, it can't be in that cell anyway, because these are from 9876. That's what I've just written in. Okay, what about this? Don't know, but I do know it's a different flavour from the 13 cage at the top of the grid. Not very interesting, perhaps. So if that's 1, 2, 3, 6, then it doesn't form the double X-wing. It only forms a single X-wing into these cells where 1 or 2 would have to sit. Maybe let's do a full addition of this group of cages. They add up to 42. Now we know, a big secret that I like to share occasionally is that each box adds up to 45, just like every row and column. That's the total of the digits 1 to 9. Don't tell anyone you don't trust. But if those cells add up to 45 and these ones add up to 42, then that pair adds up to 3 less than that cell. So this cell must be at least a 6 by that logic. Okay, now I'm asking the question, where do 7, 8 and 9 go in this top row? I thought I'd come up with something, but I haven't, because there are actually 4 candidate cells, those 3 and 1 of these. So yeah, that's not so interesting. I thought I was going to be able to write 7, 8 or 9 in this one, but I haven't been able to do that. I can see why this puzzle is not straightforward. You start seeing 29 and 30 totals in cages and you go, oh, I think I know where I can begin this, but I really don't on this one. Right, let's go back to that point about 6 and 9 definitely having been used in these cells, with the 8 in the central cell. I don't know what that does. Oh, these two add up to 6. So if that was a 2-4 pair, we'd have to have 1-3 down here. Then that would be 5 or 6. Six. No, this isn't 6, 7, 8, 9. It was this one that was 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh goodness, I don't really see where we get going. Maybe I should do this totaling the corners business everywhere. 29, 42, 57 versus 45. So those add up to 12 more than that. Actually, ironically, I think that's easier and leaves fewer, or rather that had fewer candidates. For those to be 12 more than that, which is 1, 2, 3, 4 or 6, means they add up to, well, it's not 6 by that principle, because they would have to add up to 18 then and be 2 9s. So that's 1, 2, 3 or 4, which is very unsurprising. 6 is in one of these cells. If it's there, we get a 7 in the 13 cage. If it's here, or rather if it's in one of these cells, we have another 9 to put in the 15 cage. I don't know. Gosh, I don't find this easy to get going in at all. I think it may be about counting up numbers of lowish digits or something. So if that uses 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the bottom row, out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's got 3 of them there. That it's got to have one of them in the 10 cage, which won't be a 5. Then it's only got one more digit out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that could be in any of these cells. I feel it's an interesting point, but it's not proving anything to me. Okay, if that wasn't a 2, then we would have a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 quint. Then these would be from 1, 2, 3. I've just noticed that in this column, 4 has to be in one of those 2 cells. So if that's a 4, that's a 4. Again, it doesn't quite get anything done, but it's a surprise that 4 is the digit getting excluded over on the right as often as possible. I'm 10 minutes in. I'm not going to beat Edward's time here, which was only just over 20 minutes. Right, 9874 would require that to be 1, 2, 3. Ah, that doesn't work. That's quite interesting. If this was 9874, that would be 1, 2, 3. You'd have to put 5 and 6 in these cells, and you know that 5 can't be in the 10 cage, so that would be a 6. But if that was 1, 2, 3 and that was a 6, they'd both need a 4 here. So this is not 9874, this is 9865, which is at least a deduction and an advance. Now, let's do the adding up. 28, 38, 48 versus 45 means these two add up to 3 more than whatever goes in here as a pair, which we now know this cell to be 1, 2, 3, 4, or 7. And this pair adds up to 3 more than that. I don't think that's that difficult, annoyingly. So I'm hoping that knowing this is 9865 is actually going to do something. It's going to put 7 in one of those 2 cells, which doesn't seem like it's going to be very useful. 5 is in one of those 2, and 5's a bit of a tricky digit to play around with, because it won't go in a 10 cage, I was thinking specifically. Now again, this is either 7 or it's a really low digit from 1, 2, 3, 4, in which case 7 is there. I'm going to fill those candidates in because I've got not much else going on at the moment. Okay, so it didn't really help knowing this was a 9865 cage, or it didn't in a way that is meant to be clear. So the low digits here, if we include 7, well, 7 is definitely in one of these 2 cells now, so that's not a 7 and that's not a 3. Also, these aren't 7s. Now, if that was a 7, this is a 6, that's 6, 8, 9, and this is a 7 as well. So if this is a high digit, it's also there, and the only other digit it can be is a 4. This would be 9. So if this is a high, okay, this can never be 9, is something I'm just discovering. I don't think it's that helpful, but it is nonetheless true. If this was 9, that would be 876. This would be a 4, and that would be a 9, and clash with that. In fact, let's add these up, because I don't think I've done that one. 54 minus 45 means those two add up to 9 more than these two. And that means that if this was 9, these would be the same. That's not going to happen. So that's not 9. 9 is now definitely in one of these cells. And now 9 can't be here because we've got a 9 there and a 9 there, and that uses them up for the columns. So 9 has been removed from there. 9 is definitely in one of these 3 cells. If it's there, it doesn't tell me anything more. If it's there, it puts a 2 there. If it's there, it puts a 4 here. Now, this is either, being 8, 7, 6 or 9, this is either 1, 2 or 3 more than this digit. Which is therefore 4, 6, 7 or 8. Didn't I just work out that this one couldn't be 9, or did I not? That would put 4 here. No, I don't think I did. It was that one that couldn't be 9. Okay. Bit too much optionality, and now I've got so many pencil marks in, I'm starting to confuse myself quite badly. So how did these ones work again? We had 26, 32, 44. Those are 1 less than that pair. So these are definitely lowish. If that, oh, they're 3 less, is it? 32. No, I think I did the maths wrong. These add up to 44, so those are 1 less than whatever goes in there. So I think that could be 4 or 5 as well. That's really messed up, that theory. 26, 32, 44. They are 1 less than that digit in total. Gosh, I don't know. I don't know how you make progress here. So I'm checking this one out again. 48. So those two are 3 more than that one. So if that's a 7, this is 9, 1, 8, 2, or 6, 4. This can never be a 3. That's part of that, because those two would have to be the same. So 3 is in one of those cells, and this can't be a 3 now. Wow, this ain't easy, is it? 1, 2, 3, 4. If that was the 5s in these columns, there might be 1 in that pair. There's definitely 1 in this quad. There might be 1 there. But there might also be 1 in this cell. Although actually that's quite interesting. If there was a number from 1, 2, 4, 5 in this cell, that would be 1, 2, 4, 5. These would all be from 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, so that would be a quint. This would be 5. This would have to be 4. So if that was from 1, 2, 5, 4, we'd definitely have a 4 here. I don't know what that does. I feel like it might do something. One, 2, 3, 4, 5 in those cells. Why? That's the only real quintuple I've found, isn't it? I think it is. I found other places where digits can't go, but I haven't found anywhere like this where digits must go within that group of cells. But even knowing that there must be a 4 in that group, I don't think that does anything for me, because if it's in one of those, it's not there. If it's there, then it's not in one of those, and it is there. So if this is a 4, Then we've got 9 here. And this is 6, 7, 8 or 9 as well. And must be the same digit as goes in here. Then it must appear here or here. So it wouldn't be 6. That was based on if there's a 4 here, we're not going to get a 6 here. Can we rule out 6 from this cell entirely? That would make this 7, 8, 9. We'd have a 6, 4 pair here. Yeah, then you would need 6 in one of those 3 cells. We can rule out 6 from here. Yes, whatever digit is in here, let's give it a colour, yellow. It must be in one of those 2 cells in box 7. So it must be in one of those 2 cells in box, sorry, this is box 9. It must be in one of those 2 cells in box 3. Okay, well that's an interesting way of looking at it. So if that one has to be in one of these 2, that's fair enough. Ah, then it has to be here. Because it is 1, 2 or 4. And they can't appear here. That cell goes here. It is a 4. Wow. Okay, that has taken ages. But it was a geometry thing in the end. So one of these is a 4 and one of them is a 7. Let's get rid of all the colouring. Just write that. This is now 3 or 6. Okay, we've got a 4 there. We get a 9 here. These don't have a 9 in. At least some progress after the 20 minutes it took Edouard to solve the puzzle. I've made a tiny bit of progress. This can't be 4 anymore. Now, 9 and 6 are definitely used here. So that's not a 6 either. This yellow, it's not there. This is the yellow one that goes there and in one of these 2. Right, we've got a 4, 7 pair looking at that yellow cell. So that's 8. That's 8. There's definitely an 8 in one of those 2, the yellow one. Okay. Okay. Actual digits in the grid. The excitement is almost transcendental. 1, 2, 3, 7 are the remaining cells in row 5. Those don't have a 4 in, that's a 1, 5 pair. Those do have a 4 in, that's a 2, 4 pair. There is a 2 X-wing between those areas, so there's a 2 in one of these cells. I haven't actually managed to rule on where the 4 is in that area. But we have made some progress. 4, 1, 5, 8... Don't know. Well, no, 8 not in those cells. That is now a 6, 7, 9 triple for sure. Oh, and look at all this. 8, 5, 6, 7, 9. That's a quintuple. So there's no 5 here. One of those 2 is a 5, one of those 2 is a 5. That's the 2 5s for the rows. That's not a 5. We've placed 5 in the 28 cage there. Eight in row 7 has to be in one of those cells and not here. It's also not here. 4, 7 pair. 9, 8, 5, 6. Not sure what's going on there. 5, 6, 7, 9 was a quad here now. And these are both from 1, 2, 3, 4. One of them is a 4. If that was 1, 2, 4, 5, then we'd have double X-wing. That would be a 2, 4 pair. These would have to add up to 9 without using 2 or 4. They could be 8, 1 or a 3, 6 pair, I suppose. Yeah, that's not conclusive. This pair either uses a 1 or a 2, as does that pair, which can't use them both. So one of this pair is a 3. And that's not a 3 now. This is either 1, 5 or 2, 4. So 1 and 2 have now been used in the column, and that can't be 1 or 2. If this was 2, 4, we'd then have 9, 1, 3, 7. We'd be left placing 8 there. And in fact, now this isn't 1 or 2 or 3, it is 4, 5 or 6. Again, it feels very difficult for this to be 4. One, 2, 5. Oh, we've got that 2 pair there, so that's not a 2. Oh, and we also knew that wasn't a 4. It's annoying when the same conclusion is available 2 different ways and you don't see it either way for a while. Right, now this group. Is it going to use 9 and 8 in box 3? If not, well, we've got all of 9, 8 and 7 to place. I was just wondering, could we put them all in the 26 cage? That would be a 2 then. Is there a problem there? That gives you a 2 here and here. And in one of those two, no, I don't think it's a problem. Five, 6, 7, 9 quad. That felt very helpful at one point. It's not really doing a job though. 9, 8, 5, 6, that little quadroon. Oh no, there's an 8 in one of these cells. That's interesting. Yeah, that's by Sudoku based on those 8s. There's an 8 in one of those cells, but there's also an 8 in one of those. So none of these can be 8, and that must be where the rogue 8 in column 3 goes. Now, this 13, it's not a 4, 9, because that one can't be either of them. Now it's not 8, 5. So that's a 6, 7 pair. This is not a 7. In fact, 7 can't be in this box because of 5, 7, 8, 9 there. So we actually know which way round the 6, 7 pair goes. 6 looks down at those. Now, we've got 5, 7, 9. One of these must be the 5, so there's no 5 in this group. This is now a 6, 7, 8, 9 quad, and that's not 7. These are from 1, 2, 3, 4 as a result, and this is 7. 7, that can't be 5, so we've placed 5 in the 11 cage. That fixes 1 and 5. That takes 1 out of this cell. There is a 1 in one of those, therefore there isn't here. That 5, 7, 9 triple, I kind of dealt with that. These are from 1, 2 and 3. Now that's getting quite limited. The maximum these 3 can add up to now is 2, 3 and 4 is 9. This is at least a 6. So that is now 6, 8 or 9. If it was 8, these would add up to 7 and would be 1, 2, 4. If it's 9, they're a 1, 2, 3 set, which combined with that 1, 2, 3 set would give us a 1, 2, 3 set here. That's frustratingly possible. We've got that 2 X-wing, which rules 2 out of being in that cell. So these are either 2, 3, 4 with a 6, 1, 2, 4 with an 8, or 1, 2, 3 with a 9. That's frustrating. Okay. Now, these two we're going to add up to something based on that. So 12 plus 26 plus 6, 32, 44 plus 8 is 52. Minus 45 leaves us 7 in these two cells. So that's not an 8. That is 6, 5 or 2. This is an 8. That takes 8 out of that cell and puts it there. We've got a lot of 8s in this puzzle, but there are still more to go. This cage doesn't have an 8 in, so it can't have a 2 in, because that would need 7, 8, 9. So that is 5 or 6. These add up to 7, so that is not a 5. That is 1 or 2. That's a 1, 2, 3 triple, so that's not a 1. This is not 4 or 9 or 8. So that's 5, 6 or 7 in the column. Still lots to go in this puzzle, I think. I don't think we're there at all. It's gradually becoming clearer to me. 1, 2 and 3 to place there. I want that to be a 4, but it's not necessarily so. It ain't necessarily so. Things that you're liable to read in the Bible, it ain't necessarily so, according to George Gershwin, I reckon. Now, 4, 7 there, 1, 8, 5. That is 2, 3, 6 or 9. We've got a 6 in one of those. That's obvious. I'm not doing anything. That's a 1 or 2 and must go in one of these cells. It also goes here, so they're the same colour. Let's get rid of purple. And then it's got to go here, because this cage needs both the 1 and the 2. That's getting a little more interesting. What else do we know about orange? We know it's in one of these 2 cells and one of these 2 and one of these 3. Oh, so it has to be in one of those 2, that which I could have worked out anyway. I had been on the point of working that out. Okay, let's just... These add up to 7, don't they? If that was 5, 2, that would be a 4. These, what would these be? That's a problem, isn't it? These would, if that's a 5, these have to add up to 21. Now, I think that could be 9, 8, 4. And I'm just saying, if that was 5, that's 2, and that's 4. So then they couldn't be 9, 8, 4. If they're not 9, 8, 4, they could be 9, 7, 5, but there's already a 5 in the cage. Or 8, 7, 6, but there's already an 8 there. So that can't be a 5. That's a 6. Orange is 1. I hope this is going to work in that cage. Now, these add up to 20. That's, in fact, 6 there has to go here. Oh, that's what I should have worked on. Whatever this is had to go here. Oh, it wasn't true if it could have gone there. Okay, but it turned out it couldn't. Right, we're all good. That's a 2, 3 pair. 4, 7, 9 here. 9, 7, 6 and 4 adds up to the right total. I'm very happy about that. 4, 7, 9 triple there makes that a 6. Can we get into beast mode now? And I doubt it. But we've got a 2, 3 pair here. Let's remove the corner mark, which doesn't help with beast mode. We've got that 4, 7, 9 triple. So this is now a 2, 3 pair. This is now a 5, 7 pair. They're resolved by the 5 higher up. That makes this a 4. That puts 7 in the corner. We've got a 6 there. That's not a 6. That's not a 6. We can place 6 in this box. No, we're really not in beast mode yet. 5 there has to be in one of these 2. And it has to be there in box 5. 8, 6, 1. That doesn't have a 6. These don't have a 1. There is a 1 in one of those. So there's not a 1 in the corner. So there is a 1 in this group. So it's not 2, 3 and 4 with a 6 there. Actually, I could have just done that by noticing the 6 ruling out that cell. I've got a 2, 3, 4 triple. So that is 5 or 9. It's still not simple, in my view. 8, 5, right. This can't be 7 or 9 anymore. 3 or 6 there. This can't be 6. This can't be 6. I'm not typing that one very well. Can't be 7. Is this really down to 3 or 9? Have I? Yes, it is. I haven't eliminated something in a bogus manner, I don't think, there. 4, 5, 6, 1. So I'm going to do a bit more colouring. Let's colour that against that. There we go. So that's blue. So blue's in those cells. and greens in those two along with 5. That's not going to do anything else, is it? Blue and green are both there, so one of those is green. No, that was bogus colouring. Oh, that's a 9. That's been available for ages. That's now not a 4 or a 9. That's a 7. Sorry, this has been available. 7 there takes 7 out of that cell. Now we know where 7 goes in the central column. Ah, and blue becomes 9 and green becomes 7. Okay, well, the colouring didn't really do that, but we did it. Well done us. 5, 7 there. Now 5 goes here, 9 in the top row, 9 there. I've got 8, 9. Those use up 2 9s, so that's an 8. Excellent. Let's get rid of all the grid colouring, which is pointless at this point. Right, this is a 1 3 6 triple according to the box. So this is a 2 4 pair. And we can do the maths here. That is a 1. That is a 3 in the corner, proving its position, losing its religion, helping us solve the puzzle. That's the key thing it's doing. Right. 2 or a 4 here. That has to be a 2, in fact. Good. 4 there. Oh, how's that 1 2 pair not done? Irritating. 7 in the central row is there. 7 5 1 6 4 9. We've got 8 to place here. A 2 3 pair that I thought would be resolved and aren't, but they resolved that as a 1. And we go 2 1 2 3. 3 4 6 across the middle. We can place the 4, then the 6, then the 3. That's become a 6 3 1 2 and 4, and then we can go down to the bottom of column 7. This is now a 3 2 1. Gosh, what a clever puzzle. I mean, that is tough. 35 minutes for me. I'm happy about that as well. Wow. There we go. That is Killer Sudoku 117. Thank you, Akash, for creating that. That is excellent and most entertaining. Yeah, and Akash's book is out. Anyway, thank you for watching. Hope to see you again tomorrow, maybe on the stream before you watch my video in the evening. That would be perfectly acceptable. And we'll be back with more Sudoku then, and more chance of Sonar. Bye for now.